Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Wes Reflects. Today, we have the first guest episode, and we got a hell of a guest. We have Bradley Drake Kessler. How you doing, Brad?
I'm good, Wesley. How about yourself, dude?
I'm chilling, man. Um, a lot of people I could have had on first, and the reason I had Brad is Brad has always been a real one, a supportive friend, someone who keeps it a buck, if you will, and I love him to death. And so, thank you for being here, Brad.
Love you too, and thank you for having me. Glad to be the first of many, surely.
And the tentative concept for the pod these days is to start with a random question generator and let that guide the conversation. And it is on Brad to bring up three things that have been hard for him and how he grew from it as a person. So Brad's being brave, brave Brad. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So the
Sounds
first
good.
question, what is your go-to dance move?
You know me, but I thought an elbow. Just toss
Elbow,
the ball,
elbow.
just be like this in the spot, shimmy the little elbow. Or I'll do a little elbow. Just like do something with my hand. I'll be like, mm.
Mm, mm,
Like the Kevin Gates shit, kind of,
mm.
like something like that. But, don't have dancing in my blood like you and Colin do, so not as good.
There's two I love, but they're always so like it feels like you're doing something too much. I can do like the jump over your leg thing and also like
Yeah.
the worm, but if you're the guy who does like the
That's
worm at
the
a party, it's
worm. Yeah,
like,
you're doing way too much.
man, why are you on the floor?
Rather be the guy just throwing bows, just chilling.
hmm A more casual jaunt.
Yeah, some light. Yeah.
Favorite city?
Now I gotta go Boston, from over here. Me and my boys were talking about this recently, like top five cities, and we were like unbiased. Well, no order, I guess, because that's where bias comes in. But like Boston, New York, LA, Chicago. Chicago probably above LA, but like again, no order. And then like there's some options there. You go like Miami, you could go like Nashville, you could go like well, something. But I go Boston just because from here and we got everything you need and we got Four Seasons, which I like and all that.
hmm We do kind of have everything here, especially sports. Weather is
Mm-hmm.
questionable, but definitely not a bad city to be from. It's up there.
Yeah, I don't even mind the weather because like I did 2 years in Tampa and the seasons are nice because I got all this nice warm clothes and you don't get to put that shit on when you're in
hmm
Florida. So I don't mind the weather over here, but small talk. Let me ask about the weather. Let's forget about it. But what was I gonna say? Boston also, yeah, this got like it's got sports obviously like, growing up here is like best place to grow up sports wise. Like we spoiled,
Easy, yeah.
and then like there's just like stuff to do. Like the cities do it,
hmm
but then there's like suburbs around, and there's like family stuff, night stuff, friends stuff, solo stuff, whatever the hell you're looking for. Boston probably got you, and that's true for most cities. But like I said, I'm just from here. I mean, honestly, New York. Like if I could like go to one for a week, and I go to New York because like it's just
hmm
bigger and more. But
Spend a
Boston's tight
billion
though.
dollars.
Yeah, right. That I don't. Yeah, something like that.
You said Nashville. I did have a good time there. My debacle these days is that I love Denver, but everyone I know and love is on the East Coast.
Yep. That was like me when I was in Florida. Everyone I knew and loved was up north,
I
still on
know.
the East Coast. But you're all the way in nowhere land. I know. Like you got to redo everything basically and figure it all out.
I know. And I've only been there for 2 months, so I do think about where I set roots down, and then honestly, I have no idea these days.
Yeah, I don't know, no, but like I'm leaning. I mean, I'm only 23, so and I'm not like living with anybody, so I really have no idea. But once, like, ideally, I feel like I'd rather live local still, just because. I don't know. Something about the familiarity, like I like it and I can like do all my traveling and go everywhere else, but always
hmm
come back to like what is home. And I feel
Yep.
like most of my good friends are gonna probably stay somewhat local. And I
hmm
don't want to be a dad that got no friends because that's grim. Like that shit is very grim. And I'd rather be a dad that like can go grab a go catch game with his buddies every other weekend or whatever it may be. Like, not going to be as often, obviously, we'll be going, but I'd rather like that's important to me. Like I don't want to have to like if I move somewhere random and have to make friends from scratch, like it's just not gonna go over well. Like there's no way I could
Mhm.
replicate like the relationships I got over here. So no disrespect to everyone everywhere else. I'm sure there's great people, but it's like you just can't redo like 10, 15, whatever years of chemistry you got with the people that, you know, you'd rather stick around. And I think that everything's kind of somewhat similar. Like you can go to if you're looking for like acting, sure, you'd be better off in LA. But like if you're looking, finance, New York, whatever, there's like certain areas that do better things. But like in general, like life is just what you make it. So like who gives a
Mhm.
shit? Like wherever you're at, like if you got home is where the heart is or whatever. So if you got your people and you got your family and you're cool with the area, like no point in being like, nah, let's go start fresh and bumfuck. Do we swear here? Do we gotta bleep these out? Do I gotta?
Fuck it.
All right, word. Well,
I don't
yeah.
even I a part of me was like I'm gonna try not to swear, but it's like I want to
Yeah,
be
I heard you
myself.
say that in the first episode, and then you were just like, "But fuck, maybe second episode."
Who gives a shit, man? I think number
Uh,
one priority is
yeah,
like being myself, and
authentic. Yeah, for sure.
myself right now is someone who swears. But you hit on not my biggest fear. I got a couple biggest fears, and one of them is like I've met dads where it's like their only friends or they're like their wife's husband, like your wife's
Yeah,
friend's
not. Yeah, yeah,
husband.
yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Guys, you don't know that you're like, hey, by association. That shit sucks.
And it's like, dude, making small talk and like those are your closest friends, that's my nightmare. Like you're over at a dinner party, it's like, oh, you
Yep.
catch the game? It's like, motherfucker, I don't even like you.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, honestly, I don't even like your kids. I don't want my kids hanging out with your kids anymore.
But that's how it is for a
Word.
lot of people because the way it tends to work, I'm told, is like you meet a girl
Yeah, you move wherever she is.
and fuck that.
Allegedly. Yeah, fuck that. That's why I'd rather shop local personally. Like, like, like there's stuff around here. There's women around here that you know. Me personally, I did like I get. I don't know. I'm single right now, so I got no like someone I'm living with or long term partner
hmm
plans. But like, it's not like there's a drought or lack of like pretty educated, wifeable woman around here. So I'm not
Shop
like
local.
yeah, I'm not mad at the supporting small business around here. Like that makes more sense to me than you know, like you said, like it's tough. I'm glad we're out of college. You're in grad school, but like I'm out of college without that because that's I feel like when it would happen. Like if you dated a girl from Nevada in college, like, and then you stayed together out of college, and then you got a job over. See you later, buddy. Like that's your life now. Like you're over in Nevada forever. Welcome to the mob. Like there's no out from that. You know.
If you knew your soulmate was in Nevada right now, would you move there?
Nah, because how the fuck do I know who she is? And second, like I gotta
But
find
in
her.
this
Like,
scenario, you know.
oh, I know who she is. Where she at? I got the Addy. She's sitting at the blackjack table. I
Yes.
just gotta pull up next to her, and I'll
And
win
sh
over my
and she's
hand.
like, she knows it too, and she's excited to meet you.
I mean, I'd fly out just to see what it's about. It's also Nevada, so I could go to Vegas and go see the Grand Canyon and do some fun stuff.
You could
So
pivot.
even if she my soulmate and like we'll at least get along for the time being, you know. Like
hmm
I'm tricky on soulmates. I don't really believe in all that. I think that like you can get along very well and you can have like soul. Like I believe in souls. I think that people got like some sort of something in them that's not just
Well,
like their
something,
blood and
something.
bones. No, some exactly, or if you will. But like that word's overused nowadays. But like everybody got something, whatever. Like you can. I don't know. This is my new boss. I kind of told me, explained to me. He was like, "Man, like I had a girl that I was with for like a few years, and then it was over where he used to live, and he lived in like Chicago or something, and." But he got a job over here and he chased the bag over the shorty. And he was like, I loved her. Like, she was great. Like, there was really nothing wrong with her. Like, probably could have married her and had like a similar life, but like, timing just wasn't it. And I figured, I'm not gonna delude myself into like, this is the only woman that I'll have like a real bond with.
hmm
Like, even though it's the best one I've had up until now, I'm still gonna go like do my job and then find someone over there, and that's what he did. But he was basically saying like all humans have the same wants and needs. We all want to be like seen,
Yeah.
we all want to be loved, we all want to be fed, we all want head, whatever you want. Like, we all have the same wants and needs. So like, it's just a matter of like being good at catering to people and like reading or understand the person you're with. Because if you could be like a good soulmate, quote unquote, to someone, you could probably do it to someone else because you're just good at like understanding the person and how to help them out. You know what I'm saying?
Did he regret choosing the bag over the woman?
Hell no, he's the president of the company. He got three beautiful kids, a nice wife, grew up great. The owns everything. I mean, not much to shimmy at if you're him, if you ask me. Obviously, I don't talk to him too. We did that was over lunch on like our first like casual interview. He's not gonna tell me there like, but boy, do I wish I'd never settled with my wife. Like that'd be a little. I don't think that's not something you speak out loud, even if true. But I don't think it's true at all. Like he's
Wife
got three.
like overhears him.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, no. They got like three good kids. They're all like good kids too. Like they all turned out. Like one's my age, one's a couple years younger, one's a couple years younger. But yeah, no, I don't think he regrets it. I think he wouldn't have been in the position he's in if he didn't.
That's another thing. It's like every, and I kind of, I'm a deep guy, but I see like other animals doing stuff. I'm like, maybe that's how we should do it. And a lot of animals, like, they're not with one person forever. Most of them aren't.
Bro, I just finished The Sopranos, and let me tell you, like I don't know, you haven't seen it, I don't think, but like that's big theme of this, or not even theme, but like every fucking dude in that show has like Guma, they call it, and it's like their side girl. Like nobody just fucks their wife in that show. And Tony's a sociopath, so he's not very great like justification, but he'll say like and like when someone else is doing it, or like his buddy got out of jail, but he had a wife and he like bought him a hooker, he's like, yeah, man's a man. You gotta do what a man's gotta do sometimes. And so like I feel you kind of because like I think like love can be love if you're not only till your dust, y'all. But I think that like for it to really work, you do have to be like that. Like me personally, I never cheated. Like I wouldn't cheat on my girl, at least to date, I wouldn't, and so I don't think I would in the future.
I'm
Like
open to cheating in the future.
if opportunity knocks, no, but like I mean, even when I had a girl, I was very like it's because I like, genuinely loved her, so I wasn't
Yeah.
even like there were other like I was in Tampa, there were like some very beautiful women all over the place. And I had classes with some and it's not, and some of them would seem very like I'd stand by. I'm like, oh, she's so fine. I could probably, but I would just be like, nah, I got this good thing at home, and I just the bun and and I'm not gonna ruin that, whatever. But like, and I would still like, I don't know, but I think there's just like a sense, like there's just like the curiosity, bro, and it's also like we want what we can't have. I swear, when I
Oh,
had a girl,
yeah.
like when I came home and like went out or whatever, like girls would like hit me up way more afterward. What you doing later? You want to go together? You want to leave together? I was like, God damn, you hoes, because like this wasn't always how it was going. So I was like, interesting, very interesting, and yeah, like because like, everybody just wants to like you feel like a sense of, I don't know if it's like your ego or like a power struggle, but like if you can bag someone else, you just well you already got something, you just feel like a conqueror, if you will. Like that's what
Hmm.
so I saw someone explain like that. I think it was 21 Savage actually, but um
21
yeah.
listens to this show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's coming in soon. I think January guest target. We got Mr. Savage.
But yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that like cheating is the way at all. But I do think that like every single person who's married, probably not every single person, but I think that like old school love, I think it was like that where you actually would want no one else. But nowadays, when you can look at this phone I'm looking at and just see like hundreds of beautiful every like, it's just like now people are more like hungry for what's out there because we
Yeah.
see more of what's out there. Whereas back then you didn't even know. You'd be like, oh, she's fine, but I'll never see her and she's not just gonna post on my feed her ass
Hmm.
for me to look at. Whereas like nowadays you can see that and then like all of a sudden you just wanna get with her, even if you got like
Yeah.
or it's whatever it is. Or it's just hard. Like I think everybody has like lustful thoughts, but if you can like actually lock in, like that's a beautiful thing. But
Yeah. When I was in love, it was like I wouldn't even think about cheating. And I think it's like something you should pay attention to if you want to cheat because you're probably not in a great
yeah,
spot.
exactly. Yeah. Like as the relationship got later and later, I was more and more like because I think it was just gradually decaying anyway. Like when we were at camp, for example, like I was still dating her for a few weeks. I'm still looking around camp like, damn, she fine, damn, she fine, damn, she fine. But I wasn't like doing anything on anyone because, well, one, I was actually pretty unked out that year, but two, like even if not even like outside of it, it just wasn't even because I knew it like wasn't like what I should do or how I'd want to like end things if I would end things. But the fact that the thoughts like were like I'd kind of maybe not even like think about it, but like I'd see it and be I don't know, I'd just be more like I don't even know the word. I don't want to sound like a hoe either because I'm not, but regardless, I was just more like conversational, I guess, with other nah, because that's not even a problem. I don't know, but regardless, yeah, if you feel yourself wanting other women, that's definitely a bad thing.
You think you're fully healed from your last relationship?
Yeah, I'd say so at this point. I've been around for like over 3 years. So from not, I gotta see God, but um, no, I've been good though. I mean, it definitely at first was tough, but then after that, or I say after that, like at first lasted a good minute probably, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, but I'm not like in touch or you know that I never spoke to her since, so it wasn't.
Hmm.
For the longer you do that, the easier it slowly gets. Like if in year two I cracked and hit her up, I'd probably still be like rethinking about her, you know. But nah, that ship has long sailed, and I was like a kid, and she was a kid, and it's like you know you don't even get like a good. That doesn't even matter, but yeah, you don't even it don't even like matter, I guess. Like it matter. I'm glad I got the experience and all that, but like from then to now is so different. Like from 18 to 20 versus like 20 to 23, my life has been drastically
Hmm.
different, I'd say. So I'm not I feel like I'm like grateful I had it, grateful I learned, grateful I got to do all that, but also grateful like it's over because I think like I did way more like growing and me doing
Hmm.
afterwards, which most people would probably say too.
Definitely shows some maturity. Every time someone's like, my ex is crazy, I hate them, and I'm like, you the problem.
Yeah, I swear, bro. I hate that shit too.
I
Like,
but it shows a real it takes maturity to like go through that with someone, have it end with all those feelings involved and still be able to like respect that person and be like and I kind of feel the same way about my relationship like you said. It was like we were kids, we were
yep,
trying
yep,
our best.
yep. Yeah, we still kids, okay. Like I'm 23, I'm still a kid. Like
On God.
I'm still fully a kid. Like I don't get home from fucking work and read a book. Like I don't know if that signifies grown, but I just don't feel like a grown. I mean, I'm still living at home, first of all, so much
Hmm.
like fully, totally not grown. But that's normal at our age, though. Like no one
Yeah.
got very few people got the bread to move out at this point.
100%. And sometimes, dude, my mom, sometimes she does some shit where like she shows me like a pillow and she's just like giddy about it. I'm like, you're a little kid.
No, I swear. No, you've said I saw that you tweet this before. Like adults are just big kids, like really good at masking it, or like of something, like really good at just like
Hmm.
putting it off until after. Or, like they just like hold it down until they're off wit. Cause so it's like I don't think I'll ever be like chilling with my friend, like joking, laughing, whatever, thinking like gotta stop acting like this. Like, what the fuck? Like,
What?
yeah, like, I don't
Tripping.
know. I still plan on like in like 20 years from now, like I still plan on like seeing like some of my boys and making like the same shitty jokes we make today, but not shitty like rude to anyone, just shitty like
Hmm.
you still
Goofy.
think that's funny 20 years later. Like I still plan on doing all that. Like, and of course that can change, but I don't think it's gonna. Like, and I also think like generations change for sure, and like ours is much more, I think like youthful in general because they say whatever they say, but they say something like hard times make weak men, or hard times make strong men make easy times make weak men make hard times. Repeat. So I think we grew up in the strong men make easy times, so a lot of us are bitches because I think that like none of, or at least like we're like around where we grew up, like not, and I think just like America in general too. You could even argue like we weren't alive in the wars. Like our grandparents fought in
Mm-mm.
wars. Our parents like grew up in the crack era. Like
Hmm.
we grew up. Yeah, I mean, not really too bad. Like our parents are like
I
educated.
really,
Like there's been like our parents got to go through college, or at least they had the opportunity to. Like the society was way more established for our parents growing up, or at least like way more for our parents than it was our grandparents, or way more for us, or similar for us at least than it was our parents. Probably closer there, but still, like we got to grow up with like a normal-ish world, whereas people growing up back then, it's like you got to go to war at 18. Like, brother, that is such a different life, you know what I mean? And there's people still in the world that live like that in like inner
Hmm.
cities and the shitty areas, of course. Like, people don't have it cupcakes and rainbows, but I'm just saying from my experience, like, and I think our generation as a whole, like, that's part of it.
100%. Mantra plug, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor.
Mm.
And exactly what you were talking about, I talked about with my friends freshman year of college. Like before COVID happened, I thought crazy things were like done happening. I thought like the world had stabilized. Like I we grew up and kind of like you said, like I guess the 28 financial crash or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
that didn't affect us.
Didn't
Like
affect us for shit. Like,
nothing affected us until I was in college. And then COVID happened. I was like, I live in a very completely different world than I thought I did.
yeah.
But yeah, crazy shit's still going on.
Oh yeah. So always has been though. There's more publicized now, I think too,
Yeah.
because like media and everything.
And I think, yeah, it was like an illusion that we just grew up in such like a bubble in
Hmm.
like upper middle class Massachusetts, but the real world caught up to us eventually.
Yeah, and honestly, like I definitely, I mean, I think you probably did too, but like even growing, I think like I have some friends from around where I live that just live in like not in my neighborhood, but they live like in the town and town over that live like in the projects or whatnot. And we've been in arguments before, and they'll just randomly bring up like you had a silver spoon, and I'm always just like, first of all, shut the fuck up. Ain't my fault. My parents are mad. And second, like my dad is from inner city Philly and became like chilling. So, like, like if you're mad at him for grinding to get out of a situation, like then you have a broken brain, because that's the whole fucking goal for anyone in a bad situation. Like,
Hmm.
unless you just give up. Um, but they'll say that, and I always be like, bro, like as weird as it sounds, good thing I'm not famous because they would cancel me for this maybe, but like. Like growing up, and I didn't grow up rich by any means, but I just grew up okay. I grew up having everything I needed type shit. Like I
Hmm.
had food, clothes, family, all that stuff. And it wasn't like Christmas was like $1,000 gift day. It was like I'd get my things and move on. It's like pretty like regular life outside of like it wasn't like we took mad vacays or anything like that, or like bought me like fancy shit clothes, like none of that. And like I had like whatever, I had to buy my own like little things as a kid, which I think like taught me like value of money. But I think growing up having money, you can say, like I've fallen out with like family over money. Someone who doesn't have money in their family could never even feel like what that's like. And that's
Hmm.
not like a diss to them because they got other things that you feel what I like that I can't relate to. Like telling me I grew up with a silver plate, fork, like whatever. Yeah, I did. Does that change how we eat the goddamn food? No, we still eat
Hmm.
the goddamn food. Like, and like you not having money, like maybe like I have one of my best friends did not have a lot growing up, and he started working like pretty much all through high school. He was grinding to like help pay bills, and shortly after they moved out, and he helped like pay for a house at like 18, 19 years old, like beast. But like that was just his situation. Like so
Hmm.
he went the route that makes sense for him. Like in my situation, I had the chance to go to college and I get to work after that. So I'm just like working now or whatever for the past year and like learning that as I go. But meaning I was saying all that because like I grew up having money when my grandfather died basically when he had more money to pass down to his two kids and they start fighting over it because my aunt is basically broke and she was like trying to get as much as she could, whereas my mom is not broke. So she's like trying to divvy it up evenly, but then getting like whatever, I'm not gonna go into goodies, but like basically trying to get more than she's owed, my aunt. And now we like don't speak for like a very long time and I don't have any intention to speak to her because like you family, but you're willing to like sue your sister over assets. Like that's crazy.
Hmm.
When that's damn well that was not your dad's wishes. So like that's something where I learned like that happened to me when I was like a sophomore junior in high school. So even though life was like nothing crazy, like we were saying, like you still go through shit like that, and you're like pretty young. Like that was pretty like real world. Like that was my first like real world experience I can remember.
Hmm.
And, like, goddamn, like look at what money make a bitch do, like Young Nudie said. So
And something I hit on a bunch in the first podcast is everything has pros and cons. And like you were saying, like having money, it comes with its own mo money, mo problems.
hmm
And I think the grass is always greener. Like everyone thinks money's gonna solve all their problems, and then you like meet rich people who are like wildly messed up, and it's like
yeah, all the time.
it seems more often than not. Like I think people who have less are often happier and
hmm
more grateful for what they do have.
Yeah, I agree, dude. Like if you're a multi-millionaire, bro, like you are tweaking every day. You just got so much at stake. Whereas if you make like a nice little 70, 80K or something and just get what you need. Me personally, I want somewhere in the middle of that. But
Hmm.
like I don't like I think you lose a bit of your mind working that hard, like or like going that hard. And that's why I like had to quit my last job, part of it. Other reasons too, like they were bullshitting, but aside from that, like the work itself was so like draining, and I was just like, yeah, dude, I might get dementia if I do this job forever. Like I need to do something that I can log off and like be done and things like that, you know. But
Yeah, I was working like 60 hours a week this summer, which is obviously not, I mean, some people do that and it's just so clearly not sustainable. I
yeah,
I quit and within like 3 days I went to like pick up my stuff and I quit like a week before I was supposed to end because I kept getting sick. And then so I quit. I went back 3 days later and my coworkers were like, "Oh my God, you look wildly healthier." And had been
yeah,
three
bro.
days.
Like swear, dude. That's how I felt quitting my last job. It's like that meme with like the guy like breaking out the chains. Like that's literally how I felt. Like I was like, wow, like you get like now I get off work and I'm just like not working. Like I used to get off work and still think about work, which is horrible. And like now I get paid just for doing work. Like I used to only get paid commission, which is just like such a grind because not everything's in your control in that life. And like
Hmm.
being so young, trying to save money, living like that is just so goddamn stressful. So I was like, man, this is over with. But immediately, like slowly and steadily, like my joy, like just like it came back like way more than it was. I feel
Hmm.
like, 'cause, and like my like want to go out and see people. Like I'd be so drained from work that I wouldn't even want to like see my friends and like that's. I was thinking
Dangerous
like,
spot
bro,
to be in.
yeah, I'm like, yo, I gotta be depressed or something because that can't
Hmm.
be like good. Now I'm not big on depression personally. I think you just gotta lock in sometimes, and like everybody goes through tough shit, but like you know. You can be down, but you can't stay down, if you will. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But
There is, I think, some aspect of like mindset. Like
I
you
think
gotta
it kicks
focus
in
to
when
get
you,
out.
yeah, if you give up, it's only gonna get worse. Like,
Hmm.
if you're looking at it like, God, my life is so hard, let me just do fucking drugs and cry and,
Hmm.
or even take the drugs out. Let me just cry and be a mess and not go to work and not try to get a job and not like go out and meet people. Like, I get you can take time to heal from whatever's going on, 100%, if something very bad has happened. But like, I'm not too big on it just because I think like everybody goes through shit. Maybe I don't think I lack empathy or sympathy, whichever one it would be. Like I understand like people go through things. I think that like for me, it's just like I went through most of my hardest things pretty alone, I'd say for a lot of them. So I know, I guess like, and I get people have been through worse than me, obviously. I'm not saying that, but like people and they can do the same thing in a different situation.
Hmm.
Like you can get out of your shit if your shit is not good.
This
If you're not
touches
happy, you
on,
got to make a change or whatever. But
yeah.
yeah.
And that's what this touches on something I'm very passionate about is like acceptance. And when I say acceptance, it's like accepting that like maybe things aren't great right now, but that doesn't mean you don't do anything about it. It means it is absolutely your responsibility to do something about it.
hmm Yeah. I'm also like I agree on that. Like nothing else. It's not all to be all at once. Like nothing's like that.
Hmm.
Like I'm big on that too. Like I fully accept like where I'm at, pretty much every stage of life, because I'm just like it's so easy to be hard on yourself, and I'm like think I'm naturally hard on myself without even trying to be. So it's like good to when I am, I try to not be. And that's what my old job was doing too, making me feel like so much harder on myself than I ever was, and I already am. So
Hmm.
it was just making it like hell. But um, you gotta be like somewhat hard on yourself, but you can't be like, oh my God, I'm 22 or 23 and I'm still doing this thing I used to be doing that I need to stop doing. Like you need to like stop things and build new habits like that. And really like we're in the point now where like by 25, I'd say our day to day is probably our day to day forever. Not job wise, but like habit wise. Like if you wake up and go to the gym and eat good and da da da, all that by 25, you're probably a good boy for life. But if you're like smoking cigs and like still drinking mad beer and like that's your like after work or routine or whatever the hell you want, like just routine in general, like that's part of what you'll be doing for a while. I think it'll change every few years in that point, but I think like by then you're pretty like developed where like your habits are who you are.
I think it's definitely important and you do form a lot of habits, but I think it's never too late to change.
No, I agree. Never, I agree. Like you can be 25 and be a bum and then lock in at
Hmm.
26, sure. But I
Hmm.
mean, in general, like it's just easier if by 20, like I'm just using
100%.
that like a rough age because I'm in like me and you both, like I still feel like I need to do better, but I'm also like give myself some slack. I'm still young. Like I don't need to do better. And that's
Hmm.
like so like the Tate brothers and shit, like they're so like do better now. Like there's no time. There is no time. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, chill, my man. There's time. Like this world spins, and like if you're not doing anything, then yeah, like you're a bum. But if you're like doing something and it might not be like what you want, or it might not like pay what you want, whatever. I'm just so big on that. Like one of my best friends works at Play It Against Sports right now. Like go bro. Like he's my age. He's not doing anything astronomical, but he's at least going to get his ass to work like 5 days a week
Yeah.
and works. Like you go and you do some shit. But I have another friend who doesn't do shit. And I look at him a little like, brother, like I get you don't have your dream job. I don't either, but like just you gotta figure something out. You gotta be doing something. And then steadily and surely keep working and working and try to find your way up. And if you don't like what you're doing where you're at, go try something else. But you don't have it all figured out overnight or in a couple of years. But that is when most people like separate themselves, is in the early years. Like you grind
Hmm.
hard those first years, that's what sets you up. And like I'd rather grind harder in my 20s than in my 30s.
Hmm.
But I also want to enjoy both very much. So that's like, how you doing?
I think we actually might have talked about this before over like text, but I got this from a book and it's like changing your direction in life. The analogy is like a bow and arrow. It's like if you lift it like an inch and then you fire it like over time, that just gets like farther and
Hmm.
farther and it puts you on like a different path.
Yeah,
And your
that's
life
fact.
really is just like a sum of all your choices.
Yep, literally, yep.
And that's why I was thinking about this yesterday. It's like I don't like not feel bad for people. Like I do have empathy and I know like life is pretty hard for pretty much everyone, but at the same time like you were saying like it's your responsibility to like your life is a sum of your choices.
Hmm. And then you can only control what you react to or how you react to things. I mean, like you
Mhm.
can't control what happens to you. So like when life's hard, like guess what, brother? It is for like everyone else. So like
Yeah.
if you're thinking like damn it's so hard for me, this only happens to me, why me, like hey dummy, like there's so many people like you, like go get a beer with someone or just go get a iced tea with someone and
Mhm.
talk about what's going on. They've probably been through something mad similar. Like that's what I've learned is like I when I was going through what I was going through at 17, I was thinking like damn I bet no one knows what this is like. And then when I got dumped out of nowhere, I'm thinking, damn, I'm the only man who's ever felt this way. Like, and then you just like live and you're like, bro, like we all got the same Lord, like somewhat. You just have to, and then like even like the greatest, most successfulest people have probably most, very tough stories, like somewhat along the way. I'm obviously some just got handed, M's
Mhm.
and said, have fun, little one. But like most people who make it big had to go through it. Like no one, everyone goes through it, is my point. And the people that make it big,
100%.
they just like share their story as inspiration because they're like, I got through it. And the
Yeah.
people that are moping and pouting and taking, never mind, to like help with it, like that's not like that's why you're not like balling because you let it like overcome you, I guess, you know.
And that's a lot of things you said hit for me, but it's like this and I don't even, we know someone that plays the victim mentality.
I
I won't
already know.
say,
I already know, yeah.
I won't say their name, but it's when something bad happens to you, you have a choice, and that choice is everything. And it's like how you look at it. It's like, poor me, or it's like, this is just going to make my comeback even greater. And it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like, I don't know
Corny
if it
and
sounds
simple.
corny,
Yeah, I know what
maybe
you
a little
mean.
bit, but it sounds like, oh, that could be a useful mindset, but it's not like as valid, but it is 100%
Percent
as
the only
valid.
thing. Yeah.
It's just seems less valid because anything that, like, because a lot of people in the world think the same way, and thinking a different way is what the only thing that makes it seem less valid. But and that's the difference between everything. Like, a hero and a victim have like the same backstory. Bad things
Mhm.
happen to them, and the hero's like, I'm gonna take that and now watch this, and I'm gonna make this like, let
Yeah.
me become a
And the
monster.
victim's like, you see that, point me. Whereas the other guy's like, you see that, now see this, like type thing.
Exactly. And that's the difference between a hero and a victim is like, I don't know if there can be a greater difference. It's the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, just how you react, literally. Like I said, like everybody go through everything pretty much. Like we've all been through similar, and if not, like I met someone at work recently, bro. Their life seems horrible. She's a very sweet girl, but I'm not horrible. Like she seems unhappy. Just like
Yeah.
dad died last year, best friend died last year.
Hmm.
Like I'm just like listening to her talk about her life. I'm like, yo, like very grim. Like that's something where I have not gone through. Like I have not lost my
Yeah.
pops. I have not lost my very best friend. Like she literally lost like her very best friend. Like not like a homie, like her dog, like someone she would
Hmm.
take trips with and all that. And I think it was like a car crash too, like super sad sudden. And like that's okay, that's a different level. But even still, she still goes to work every fucking day. She has for a year. So like I think she took a couple weeks when her dad died, but then she just went back to work. Like as sad as that is, and as like harsh as that may sound, like that literally just is life. Like
Hmm.
you're gonna go through shit. And even her who's gone through like more than me, I'd say, you know, from what I know and like whatever, she don't put on a pout or like point me, like just does stuff and you know, lives and like it's if you could easily let that happen to you and let it make you like I can't do anything for a year. Like you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like and then you just wasted a whole year of your life.
I've been through a lot, but like you said, I hear like things other people have been through, and I'm like, I
I
wouldn't
meant this
rate it.
shit. Yeah. Swear, man. Very tough stuff, dude. And people just beast through it sometimes.
But I think it is like, you think you might not be able to do it, but when stuff happens to you, like, you have no other option but to give up or fight back.
Hmm.
And that's like the same thing with the things you have been through. And neither of us gave up. And it's easy to say, yeah, when I've met people where just they have an abundance of like bad things happening to them in like a couple year period where it's like they can't catch a break.
Hmm.
But it's
It was
either
supposed
like
to be.
giving up, it's either give up or like keep it pushing. And giving up is just not even a viable option in my mind.
I agree. Yep. That literally happened to me. Like I had like a 2 year run where boom, left from life, boom, right from life,
Yeah.
boom, uppercut from life. And then I was just like, oh, we eat these, we eat these, we eat these. And then like it kind of trickled because, you know, you know how it all went down. But like all that goes down, that change locations, and then like I gotta kind of restart. Like that's a whole nother like hardship, if you will. Not
Hmm.
like not to play victim, but it is like going to a fresh school as a junior, like or I think I was a sophomore, honestly, because I was back a year. Like I was like, hello, hello. I don't know. I wasn't like that's why I don't want to go somewhere new to make friends because
Hmm.
I got better friends already. Like I don't need a bunch of new ones, please. But um. I forgot I was going with that. I had something relevant to say, but
We were kind of talking like, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, and like, oh yeah, just like going from there to switching it up and still getting out of it. Like, even when like the things that were actually making it directly hard ended, like
Hmm.
other things trickled from like the change. Like, you're going through something hard to get over it, you probably gotta like temporarily go through something harder just to get over it in the first place. Like, say for example, like you're addicted to drinking alcohol and then you stop drinking alcohol. That first week gonna be hell. But then after that you might feel great.
Hmm.
Whereas it's like the same thing with like I had a bunch of shit going on, then I switched locations and then it's like great, now I gotta like make a life over here. But then like once I did that, like okay, now I'm like a happier person. Now I'm like a freer person. Now I got like
Hmm.
a new perspective on shit. Like now it kind of unravels. It's definitely not overnight or in a week or whatever.
And when you were going through your breakup, I had a lot of respect on how well you weathered the storm. Like, I think a lot of us weathered the storm, but me personally, I tend to like second guess myself, but you seemed like solid. And for the people listening who might not have all the information, Brad went through a breakup and he had to like, he was a camp, we were camp counselors, and you had to be in front of kids like every day with a smile on your face. And you did it the whole summer. And that was, I had a lot of respect for you for that.
Yeah, it was a good place to be. It's like a mix. I think I've said this before, but like it was good because I didn't get to like sit and mope about it. I had to just wake up and go to work, and it was a
Hmm.
24/6 hour camp. So like you're there all week pretty much.
Hmm.
And I got done for my one off day at like 2 a.m. So like coming into the next day hot. And then but I came in the next day just like chilling. Like I literally woke up and like it hadn't even dawned on me yet. I was like, oh, whatever. Like gotta go work. Like let me just meet all these new parents that are dropping off their kids and trusting their kids with me. Let me just
Hmm.
be good real quick so that they trust they're in good hands, which they are, of course. And then like and then get through the day and get through all the intro stuff. And then that night I was like, yo, boys, just so you know, like to the staff, I was like, just so you know, I just got done last night. So we see me down, just pick me up, or slap me or whatever. And everyone was like, oh, sheesh, I didn't even notice, whatever. But and then so I never like all that saying, like I never really got to like sit and cry about it, which good or bad. I definitely cried about it like a couple times, but I think I would have been more hurt by it in the moment if I didn't have camp to just like go to work. Give it a good morning, kids. Welcome to the
Yeah.
function. Like I had to be this like outgoing, and I was also like leading the whole unit. Like I was in charge of a bunch of counselors and kids, so I had to be like good influence for everybody, good role model or whatever. Leader can't show weakness type shit. So I was like, damn, let me lock in. But then like night would come or like the off day and I'd be or like whenever I would like usually text her like the first night I remember being like, damn, this is when I text her about my day. Like I got no one to text about my day. Like, damn,
Yeah.
that hurts. But then I just never got to like sit and ponder like why this, blah, that. Like I was just doing things for the most part, which I think is good. But I think I kind of overdid things and I didn't really have a choice because like my job, like my
Hmm.
boss probably wouldn't give me a week off. He did when I didn't want to, but he wouldn't give me a week off when like for that, I don't think I wouldn't think at least, and I never asked, so I can't say, but I wouldn't have wanted anyway because there's just you just come back and mope. But like I think I didn't really heal, if you will, during camp at all, and I think
You
I
didn't
kind
really
of
have time to like grieve.
to process it at all. Yeah, like
Hmm.
I had to do all that after kind of, and
Hmm.
then like a few months after, life got even crazier. So like. And like that's the thing, like as I was like, damn, I feel this other shit happen. I was like, oh God, I feel this way more now. Like, God damn,
Hmm.
I gotta deal with this. Like, so I was always I think it might have lasted longer because I never even like dealt with it.
Yeah.
But
Because I think the beauty of going through it at camp is like it's distraction is kind of what you need when you're going through it,
mm,
and you were
for sure.
distracted 24/6.
Exactly, yeah. Like I could only think about it like right before bed and I'd be like, oh, I forgot.
And at camp, you were like too tired to even like,
I don't know, give that much of a serious like
hmm, like my head would hit the pillow and I was gone no matter what, which is not the
mhm.
case in normal life.
No, it isn't at all. I could do that any time of day there too. Like,
Hmm.
it'd be awesome. Love naps. This easy, but yeah.
Did you do you think it was easier to grieve after because it wasn't so recent?
Mm. I don't know. That's the only time I ever got hurt by a woman emotionally, never physically either. But trying to think, so I can't like compare it to the other, you know. But
Yeah, I know.
I think like I think it was better for me though personally because I don't want to have. I think there's a nice saying I like. It's like free time is the devil's playground or
Hmm.
something like that because you got nothing going on, so you're just gonna like do the wrong things, kind of,
Hmm.
or react the wrong way. Like if I wasn't at camp when that happened, I might have like hopped in my car and well, I'm not, not whatever. Like I could have
Hmm.
done, I could have like chosen other ways to cope, you know. But I might
Hmm.
by forced choice was to like go be the best version of myself every day, because that's what the kids and my staff needs to see. So like
Hmm.
that's a good thing, I think. But it's also a hard thing to like just do every day. But it wasn't like I wasn't like faking it. Like I was truly being me. It was just like I just like somehow like tuned out my sadness, I guess. And I really wasn't that sad in the moment. I guess like I was just so distracted. But I think like when I went back to school was when I was more sad because I was living in the same apartment that I lived in with her, but now by myself. So I'm just seeing ghosts. I'm like, God damn, I used to be in love in this apartment. Now I'm just me.
Yeah.
So like that was tougher, I'd say. But
I
yeah,
remember
and then
you
like
told me you were like, you were like, this is a really good sandwich. Normally I would have texted her about it. And that is like, it's the
swear,
little
I don't even
things,
remember
man.
that, but that's exactly right, dude.
I got
Swear,
no
it's
one
a
to
real
text about this sandwich.
sandwich. What is it smell? It's probably some Eduardo wrap. This thing was banging, I bet.
For
Yeah,
real.
it was. It would be those things, but it's like whatever though, dude. Because then you look back and you're like, okay, like you said, I would never down talk her like afterwards because that's just not P. But like you look back, you'd be okay. Like I was probably blind at times. I was
Hmm.
probably just like in love, but like not like even knowing like what for. I think sometimes you just kind of oversee things because you're in love, obviously. So like
Yeah.
after I was single and I could like look back at times and things, I could be like, yeah, I don't know. Like I would not like someone to like treat that situation like that today. Or I would not want like my girl to
Yeah.
react like this to that today or do this or like do that. I'm not gonna say any specifics because that ain't P, but you know what I mean? Like that's
Hmm.
just like the general thing of it. Like, yeah. And I remember there was this dude, good dude in Tampa. He like does like pop-up shops at the school, and we used to always go shop with him. And I went to him like shortly after we were broken up, and he was like, "Oh, I ran into blank. Like she said, told me you guys broke up, but I like none of good things to say about you." I was like, "Oh,
For
good,"
real.
because if she's over, you know, like at least I know it's like it really ain't no bad whatever. It wasn't like and like her mom calling my mom to cry about like her breaking up with me because her mom doesn't understand it. To me, is a win because it's like
Hmm.
not a win like it's not a competition, but it's like I don't feel like I am a detrimental fuck up and fumbled anything. I just feel like
Hmm.
shit. My turn, no longer my turn. I got to learn, moving on.
Hmm.
You know.
And it means something that she had that much respect for you. And like you were talking about, like love can be blinding. I am not great at like boundaries in general and like setting them. And when I was in my first relationship, there was like none. Like I was just so happy that it was like she could have punched me in the face. I'd be like, I love you.
Do it again. That's bad funny. Yeah, that was probably me for like the first 3 months, dude. That's the honeymoon. No, that's classic. But when
And that's
everything
why
just
I think it's so crucial to set boundaries there because you're gonna need them later.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And no hitting.
I don't like when you hit me.
Some dudes like to like get hit during sex. I'm pretty sure I've heard like through the grapevine of like women just like saying things they've experienced, and like that shit is so crazy to me. Like what? Like,
You
I don't
said
know.
something. I don't even know what this podcast is. I think if I had to slap a label, it would be somewhat mental health. And you said winners, like, or you said leaders can't show weakness. And a part
Hmm.
of me is like, yeah. And a part of me is like, that's the problem.
I know,
Because
right? It really is.
men in this world, my dad is impersonating a monkey outside the window. We watched Inside Out, and the dad in the movie is like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." So yeah, my dad's just monkeying around. What was I talking about?
How like the leadership, no, not showing weakness, how it's the problem, because then like the disciples don't see the human aspect of the man type thing.
Dude, I don't know if you said you listened to a little bit of the first episode. I probably lost my train of thought 12 times and I just but I'm not losing it and I'm happy you're here to remind me.
Yeah, I always do that too, dude.
But
Yes.
men, it's like guys in this world, I don't want to say like men are the forced leaders, but like that's kind of
Nah,
the
we are.
way. Yeah. It's like that is the social norm, like that the
It is,
guy,
and that's like no diss to women, bro. That's just historically.
that's the way it was set up.
Yeah, the way it was set up, and like even the way things are today, like at least my experience, I've worked at like four places. The biggest boss, five places, biggest boss was always a man. It's just my experience. I can only speak from my goddamn experience.
Hmm.
But like, that's not to say there's not great women that do badass shit and are in positions of power. Like, absolutely there are. But you're right, and it's also like I think of it like, dude, like if there's a war, who's getting drafted? Us.
Hmm.
So give us an extra 30 cents while we're here. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. A woman deserves to get paid. 100%. I'm not here
100%.
to I'm not here to get to make any points against that. But I think there is some truth to like the men are the force leader. There definitely is. And like it's tough to like figure out because especially we're in like changing times where like it's okay for men to talk about their problems now, whereas when we were
Hmm.
kids, it wasn't. And like being a strong leader, I think it doesn't mean showing no weakness, but I think it means like showing your people that like you're not gonna let like you can't fuck up the business because of your emotions, I guess. And
Hmm.
that's tough, but that really is life. Like that's not just like a oh it's hard for men to balance that. Like it is, but that is also just life. Like any successful business or I'm just talking business because like that's what I've worked in, but I'm just like any like empire or company or mission. Like
Hmm.
the goal has to be strong enough and like the work has to be good enough and like hard enough where yes, but like there was something crisp I had to say.
We were
Oh.
talking about balancing like showing weakness and actually like because
Yeah,
at
like
some
you
point
can,
you got to
yeah, like it's
deal with
about
it.
showing how you react to shit. So like if you're the leader and your whole team knows you're going through it, but you still show up and work hard, like that is good standard for like the leader, I think. But at the same time, if after work you like get a drink and like open up with your coworkers about your personal life and like what's going on, like that's also good leadership because they're seeing like, okay, like he's still you're not then you don't look at him like a robot. You look at him like, oh, okay, this is exactly how I
Hmm.
would like want to talk about it if I was going through it, except like I didn't think he would ever get like this because when I see him at work, he's so sharp. But when I see him, he's going through something and he does cope with it. He does have to deal with it. He does think about it.
Hmm.
He just chooses and divvies up when he has to. And that unfortunately is just life. Like if you're running an important job and something's going on in your personal life, like you got to just push that down till the job's over.
Hmm.
Like,
And I'm getting big on like there's no one right way to do things. It's just doing something that you want to do something that works for you. And because I was thinking, like, say something bad, like you're struggling with something, like you said, you got to like take care of what needs to be like you got to do what you got to do. But I
mm-hmm,
think maybe you could like have other people in your life that you talk about it with, or after the fact, you could be like, I know I seemed like all good during that, but like that shit wasn't easy. And I think
yeah, that helps. Yeah.
the only thing I really believe is like talking about it. Because I think you think no one understands, but when you hear someone else has gone through something similar and they got through it, and it's like, I don't think I need to explain like how relatability and how like other people going through the same thing like
Mhm.
helps, but it's
Yeah,
just,
of
it
course.
really does.
Defo.
And there's not like, yeah, there's not one like you could talk about it with your coworkers or you could just talk about it with your family. And it's just the only thing I really am passionate about is talk about it. Don't
Yeah.
keep it in.
Mm-hmm.
So when you keep it in, shit gets funky.
Oh God, it gets so funky on the inside. Your stomach starts hurtling.
And we were talking about like the men are the forced leaders of the world. And at least speaking for myself, Like there's pros and cons, but I don't like love it either. Like I wish women were more, and I respect the women who are like going out and saying like, "Nah, I am a leader. Watch
Mm-hmm.
this," and they do it. There are
Mm-hmm.
lots of them,
Oh
and
yeah.
but I am being the force leader of the world. Like there's pros and there's some cons to it too. It's nice sometimes being in charge, but sometimes you don't want to be in charge.
Mm-hmm. I know, but like someone's got to make the decision anyway at the end of the day. So like
Yeah.
whether you're in charge or not. But yeah, no, I agree. It has its good and its bads.
And if I'm a big balance. My mom always said when I was younger, the key to life is balance, and it drove me nuts. It would make me irrationally angry. But now it's like my mantra. So
I'm dead.
I think we ought to get some more balance, but
Mm-hmm.
pros and cons to everything.
Oh no, Peter. My last job, the boss man, like the biggest boss man of the whole like area, was at like a company monthly meeting thing, was saying how everyone's talking about they want balance in life. Well, he like did the math. I don't know, just a week divided by 3 in hours. I don't know the number, but he's like, well, here's balance. This much time towards work, this much time towards personal, and this much time towards rest.
Hmm.
He's like, so this is balance. Balance means it's all equal. I remember just sitting there thinking, like, boy, hell no, because if you put like 1,000 bricks and 1,000 feathers and say it's 1,000 of each, ain't the same fucking balance, douchebag. Like, I shouldn't be saying douchebag. He's a good guy. I do respect that guy. I know disrespect to that guy, but like, um, point being, like, if you're doing the same amount of work as you are, like, personal, like, brother, that is not a good balance. Like, you need more personal, and you can go
Hmm.
hard at work while you're at work. Like, that's why I'm so like. At first, I like my old job because I was thinking it kind of like caters to who I am as a person in my business. But now I'm like, and let me do something that kind of I can just do. Like, yes, I'm good at it. Like, I still have the attitude for it, but I'm not like I don't want it. I don't want my life to also kind of reflect my work, whether that was how my old job was. Like I like that I can just work and then life and
Hmm.
exchange whenever I'd like and do both. And I can do more life if I do good work. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to
Hmm.
do the same amount of work as life if you're mad good at work or whatever. Like
Hmm.
that's the end goal, obviously. So I remember him saying that and being like, what are we, just a bunch of sheep in this room, just hearing that all numbers are equals, like three numbers are the same numbers, so that's balance. Like, bro, if you get the same amount of sleep as you do work, like that's probably not good either, honestly. I don't
Hmm.
know. Maybe it, regardless, like I just think it was like because the math, you got 24 in a day times 7 divided by 3. There's like 56 of each. So 56 divided by 5. That's like 5 11-hour days
Hmm.
work. Like, what are we talking about here? That is not balance. That is sadness. Like, that is just like
Math ain't
depression.
mathing, cuh.
Yeah, that's balance. Like, if you number it out, yes, that's balance. Like I said, 1,000 bricks, 1,000 feathers don't weigh the same. But how you doing?
Question I had on my mind earlier was, and I don't know what brought it up, but I want to talk about it. Do you believe life is a game?
Mm. I mean, I don't think you're playing to win, but I do think it's a game. So then you kind of are playing to win. I mean, winning's obviously perspective, but like
Yeah,
I
I
think
think the winning is different for everyone,
yeah,
but you
but the
are
same way like
playing.
humans want the same like needs, like my
Yeah.
boss was saying, like winning is somewhat like I'm pretty sure winning for 98% of the world would mean enough money to handle their needs. Like that's a part of winning is having some bread. And then like another part is, another huge Trump part is like having people that care for you in your life and whatever. Like
Hmm.
I'm sure that's 98% of people would say they want a family, and I'm just like, and then there'd be these weird 1 2 percenters that don't all line up with everything because they're different and cool and edgy and losers. But like the the general winning is like you want enough money to handle your life and you want people to enjoy it with. Like that's winning. Like
Hmm.
I don't care where you come from or what your goals are, how much money you want. If you can make enough where you can provide for your family and like live like that and you still get to enjoy yourself and do things you like to do, like you've won. But I don't know like game though because I don't think you're like you're not versing anyone though, like that's the thing, like
You
games.
verse yourself, I believe.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly, it's only you versus you, obviously, because like everybody got different paths and like different bubbles. And like I some song I like, if I don't know which one, but you say like I seen like, oh no, I remember. I've seen ballers rise and fall. That's why I'm ambitious, G-Herbo. But meaning like you've seen people rise, like you've seen ballers rise and fall. Like I've seen people when I was a kid that did so well. I knew kids in high school that sold a lot of things and they made a lot of money, and you think, damn, those kids are doing great. But like they're just 16 years old. They're doing great for 16 years old. Fast
Hmm.
forward like whatever 8 years or something, like now some of those kids ain't doing shit and they don't make any money. They don't do anything,
Hmm.
or they went to jail or whatever. And like so like you're not like I've seen ballers rise and fall like my and even like like Diddy, not a baller, but like living when I was living like one minus the whatever. I use a
Yeah.
different example, but y'all get my point. Like anyone who's done really well in life, a lot of those people have like crashed and crumbled. So just because it's like you want to do really well, but you want to like sustain it, and you don't want to like mix it up in the bullshit and like lose yourself. Like that's another part of winning is like not losing yourself in the process. Like
Hmm.
you can change for the better, but you can't like throw away like your day one values. I think it's bad looks.
Another random question popped in my head, and I was thinking, I was like, I don't know what I was kind of thinking about like how I wanted to structure the podcast. And at one point I was like thinking of questions for you. And one that came up was, what role does rap music play in your life?
Hmm. Man, depends what I'm feeling like that day. But like, I mean, I wouldn't say that's like a crazy question because people would take it as like, oh, this white kid rap music playing his life. Like he thinks he's
Hmm.
fucking him. Like I do think I'm him actually. So yes. But like second off, but I'm humble with it. But second off, like, what it play? I mean, my parents put me on to like rock and roll when I was a kid and I would fuck with it, but I wasn't ever like attached to it. And then I literally heard Lil Wayne's verse on "Down" by Jay Sean. Baby, are you down, 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 down,
He
down,
spazzes.
down like he supposed to be singing down? I said, "Oh my god!" He was tweaking. I was like, "Yeah, this is amazing." And I remember like on my iPod Touch at the time, like going on the Apple Store and listening through the lyrics in my mind to download the
Hmm.
song and make sure it was appropriate and all that stuff. And like then I just like slowly got into it, and I just like what it means, and then I just like got like back into it over the years. But I wouldn't say I'm like there's like insufferable rap fans where like you can't even like I'm not like that. Like I can like talk music very knowledgeably, but I'm not gonna like play a song and be like, dude, you know, like this bar right here, like what it, like that shit is so annoying. Like the music, you like let people just enjoy it, whatever. But like to me, it's just kind of like what we were talking about earlier. That's what I was telling my parents when I was a kid because they were always like, "Why you listen to this rah rah? Like you don't do any of that." And I was like, "Yeah, but I was like, these are people that are talking about all the hell they went through and all the shit they went through. Like I
Hmm.
loved 50 Cent as a kid. I loved Lil Wayne as a kid. I loved like Eminem as a kid. That boy went through hell. I loved like mm, I like Drake a lot as a kid. He didn't really go through hell, I don't think. But I like
He was
but
just
I
ugly.
got into like Tupac more in like middle school, and like he had a lot of like struggle to talk about. Like so many rappers just talk about like how hard their life kind of was and how they got to where they were at. And like
Hmm.
that's the message in rap to me is like people are just talking about the shit they've been through and where they're at and like how they deal with things now versus then. And so I like if I'm like going to work, I like to listen to like a rapper's like first mixtape. Or if I'm like about to go like do something important work wise, I want to listen to like I'm gonna listen to the Come Up by J. Cole. I'm gonna listen to
Hmm.
like Good Kid, Mad City, or Section 80 by Kendrick, or like some old or like Get Rich or Die Trying. But like I want to hear their first shit where they were like so hungry because that's like
Hmm.
me currently. And then once I'm rich and lit, I'll go listen to like I don't know 2014 for whatever. That album's good,
Hmm.
but not even my favorite Cole album. But like you know what I mean. Like I'll listen to more like made it music. Like I'll put on that. I'll put on some glamorous Future that makes me feel like I've made it. But like, even now, I'll still listen to like grinding Future because that's just like the grind.
Hmm.
Like it's just like I just the only music I think that hear other songs I know talk about like their struggles and things like that. But it's like to me, I was always a kid looking at it like these are people that had it so much harder than me that made it so big and have done
I'm
so
filming
well.
the
Like
pod, Mom. I'm doing something. Mom, I'm literally, I can't do this right. I, um, and I think for me, it's kind of like how you used it. Like, I think the difference between rap and other genres is like there's wisdom in it because, like you said, it's like talking about not only the stuff they've gone through, which I think most music does, but rap specifically, it talks a lot about like how they got through it. And
Hmm.
like you did, and it's kind of like what I do for like mantras and like sayings too, but like I'll go through something and I'll like a music lyric will like pop into my head that will give me like clarity on how to handle the
Swear, me too.
situation.
Yep, same.
And I think that's why I love it. And it is like you said, like white kid, like maybe rap wasn't designed for white kids or like, but I think
Designed definitely
everybody
wasn't.
needs wisdom.
Yeah, no lie. And like, dude, like it's good to hear. Like, I always felt like I kind of understood like the rest of the world a little better than like the kid in class next to me in third grade in Andover public schools because
Yeah.
they didn't listen to Get Rich or Die Trying yet. They didn't know what the fuck goes on in New York. Like, I don't know, like, and I didn't think that didn't make me like superior, but I did feel like life is not like this for everyone. I think a lot of kids thought like this is life for everyone for a long
Hmm.
time. And a lot of kids I know now like didn't start listening to rap till like high school or something. Like a lot of kids like didn't start until then. And like so their first impression is like Lil Baby and Gunna and whatever. And like fine guys, love Gunna personally, but like you can't and Gunna actually great job of like expressing his own stuff now too after like everything that happened to him. But before that, he was mostly just dripping and drowning and fucking and saucing and swerving and like just
Hmm.
life, like life that I could never that is not real to me at all right now. But then like you listen to a Gift and a Curse album, I'm like, oh okay, I've been through this, I've been through that, I can relate to this,
Yeah.
you know. But I think a lot of those people like don't listen to it. They listen to it more like, and I have like a melody playlist where the purpose is not to feel like I don't every song I listen to isn't like I want to feel their pain. Like I have like a feel good play that you know what I mean. Like I got different reasons, but that's like my fundamental like why I got into it was like and like what I realized as I got into it. Like damn, like when you listen to these people, like they had crazy lives and like they've just made it and like done really well now. And like sure they might have like fucked up in the past and whatever, but like now they're doing great. Like 50 Cent is like literally one of my biggest like inspirations in life because he's just a goat at everything and he's like he grew up so unfortunate and then has is now just like the man of like one of the most like I think like boss people to ever like
100%.
in America, you know, like he's just a beast. And
I read his book, dude, and it is
yeah, dude, he's
like
a
that man
fucking
is a
beast,
machine. He
a
operates his
machine. Like
life like he is a machine.
I know he's truly something unreal, and like I admire it more. I think because I listened to him when I was younger too, still,
Hmm.
and like I heard like his hunger, and like I didn't understand, but I get like you know the then versus now at least for him, and like
Hmm.
that to me is dope. And if you like there's no like you can't like gather how they got there by just like reading about it. Like best way to like learn about like someone like that is like listen to what the fuck they wrote down and recorded, idiot. Like
Yeah.
they're telling you there. Like that's why I love Nipsey also too, because he was so like give out game to his fans. Like he would rap about like his own stuff, but he would also like be giving advice out in his music like all the time. Like,
Hmm.
you know, and then like people like Mac who were like way different like problems. I can't relate to those neither really. I never was on drugs, but like still I can relate to like the you feeling alone and you feeling like you need some help and it's like you don't know what like there's just some message in all of it and I'll granted not every rapper has a good message but there's this like not every like actor or rock and not you know not anyone does but like it gets so stigma and it gets so like my friends in law would like sit on me for some music they'd be like but how you listen to that like you don't have any like you were not they'd be like Brad you were not this or that and I'd be like bro like you're not a fucking rock star, pussy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like you don't strum the guitar and sell out shows. So just because I don't kill people doesn't mean the song I'm listening to can't describe that or
Yeah.
whatever. And you know, just like random things like that. Like I think people are so like critical of like other. I remember the kid who said I disagree with this so hard. He said that he was talking about like two siblings he knew and how like one is so much different than the other and like how like one acts like so like basically acts more like me, or it's like more like I don't even know. This made it like whatever. He said two kids from the same house, one's like a straight edge and one's like a rebel. He's like, how like the rebel's just like doing it because I'm like, dude, that's so cap. Like me and my older brother are so different. We grew up the same house, but like
Hmm.
I got into like rap in second grade and I started hanging out with like I made like my best friends in like the beginning of middle school. Like I already knew like those are my best friends still. So like I've like he didn't. So like, our experiences in life, what it's different. Like I was running around with my best buddies doing stupid shit when I was 11. So obviously when it'd be have like a different experience, a different outlook on like what things are, what fun is, what's right, what's wrong, because I was out like creating my own like right and not creating my own, but like experiencing it and like doing it and learning from it. Whereas he wasn't really doing that at the time or whatever. And we're just so different in general. It was just such a bullshit point. I was like, bro, how can you say like then like every fucking person in the world would just be like have like be the same as everyone in their neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like it
Hmm.
doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Like
And
sure there's similarities if you go up with someone, but
mhm,
to think that like they can't be radically different and think that like that's normal, like to think that's not possible is insane. But yeah, go ahead.
I was like, and what you think, I'm just very in the process of thinking, but like, what is the difference then? Like, what makes people different? Is it just like the things they stumble upon, or is it like the things they're drawn to? Because like I discovered like the gym in my life will never be the same, but I could like, what if that was running? Could that have been
Hmm.
running? Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, 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 for sure.
And it's like I
Yeah.
like people like what they like, but it like I wonder like say your brother discovered rap when he was younger, how different would it be? It's just interesting.
Well, I don't think he would have. I don't think he liked it as much as the thing
Yeah.
too. Like he knew about it because I would be listening to it. So like I'd play it in the car or on the way to a game or whatever. Like he still got to hear it, and he always like he likes some of it. He likes Wayne. He likes Kendrick. Like he likes some of the guys that I play that are just like good musicians. Period.
Hmm.
Like he'd like Ye and all that, but he's not gonna like go out and look for it. So I think I guess a good point you make because I don't know like. Cause like I got into it and like really liked it, and I met my friends and really liked them. He could have heard the same song on the radio and just been like, "Oh, this verse is all right," and then
Yeah.
gone about his day. Or he could have met like the same kids I met and been like, "Oh, I like this kid," and then never speak to him again. Like,
Yeah.
whereas I was like, oh, I like these guys. I'm gonna like hit them up tomorrow. Oh, I'm gonna like
Hmm.
see him in school. I'm gonna like ask to hang out after school. Or
Yeah.
like I'm gonna like, oh, like we're best buddies. We should like plan like a sleepover this weekend and go ding dong ditch the neighborhood. Like random little things like that that I like. I think I just naturally, and even as like a kid, like I was always like I liked doing bad things. So like it's just or not even bad, but just like, not the rule. And even when I
Hmm.
was a little kid, I would get in trouble for like breaking little rules, even in like preschool. Like so I
Hmm.
don't know like where it started.
Hmm.
Like I got in a fight in preschool, not even pre-K yet. And the kid
Standing
got
on
expelled.
business.
Yeah, he bit me in the arm and I punched him and he got kicked out and I didn't because he started it and my teachers were real. But um I don't know like how that shit really go because like part of it is you're not
You're what?
like you
Oh,
literally like
how
I
you're
think it's
wired.
nature versus yeah exactly like which nut did you come from like not that you can tell what the difference would have been but like I think there's definitely some nature there but then nurture plays a role as well and I think like
I think
I
it's
don't
like a
know just like
balance of those two.
yeah, it obviously is, but it is interesting, like, because I think for I just like my older brother and I, like, I think nature probably played a greater role, which is interesting because I've always been on the nurture side of things, but now that I'm thinking about it, like, we grew up very similar. I just like was a dickhead and he wasn't, and there was no like
Hmm.
this happened to me as a kid and not him. I mean, my dad like screamed at him when he was a kid one time, which did like traumatize him. Like he was horrified, and my dad like yells loud. So maybe that made him a quieter kid, fucked as that is, and I hate to just put the family business out there, but I mean, we're keeping it real. But like that is possible. I know it did like affect him somewhat for a while. Like he didn't love it, but I
Hmm.
don't think, and I never went through that. But I got yelled at too, and I just would not care as much. Like that. So there's definitely just like some weird like I was born raw. Like I don't know. Like I'm also like most like I'm nothing. I'm really nothing that similar to my mom or dad. I'm very similar to my grandfather on my mom's side. So
Mm-hmm.
I find that interesting too. Is like he was the same way. Like he got like in trouble as a kid. He would always like be doing shit, but he was always very like entrepreneurial and always very good with
Yeah.
people. And he owned his own business one day and did very well. So like he was a baller, but he was like I watched him throw hands with his best friend at his house party he would throw every year over the fire pit. They were like mid 70s, like literally throwing hands over a fire pit. Like that's some shit I would do. So like the things like that, and he was still like a great like good guy, but he had like he did things like my dad and mom would never do. He like whatever. He had been arrested. He had been like he owned a business. He just got in a bunch of little trouble as a kid. He got in he pulled over multiple times by the same cop and like whatever. He just had a more eventful life. But that's like my life. Like I just like
Mm-hmm.
have more eventful things to like reflect on. But I'm still just like gonna try to be like a family man, just like my mom, dad, or anyone else is most of the time. But I think it's interesting because like my nature is him, but I was nurtured by my parents, but I'm still
Mm-hmm.
most like him.
Do you
And
remember do you remember the exercise we did at camp? I think it was in staff training where it was like you were either like one of four types, and I was a questioner and you were a
mm-hmm.
rebel, and I
I was a
think
rebel,
that
yeah.
explains us pretty well. Like I couldn't be like
Yeah, that does explain us pretty well.
I
You
when
one day.
it fits us so well. Like I through life I've come to understand that I'm just like for whatever reason like I'm always asking questions. I'm always analyzing. And maybe
Yeah.
that's why I'm doing this because this way I can just like ask people questions, which I already naturally
And like
do.
analyze on the fly, yeah. And if people find it entertaining, then boom.
Hmm.
Thanks.
And when my I think I'm just gonna like let like originally I was like I'm gonna make force people to talk about the worst shit they've ever been through, but like that's
Nah,
whack.
you
Like
gotta
if
make it natural. You want to let them like open up now. Like I wouldn't if you asked me before the call, like, hey, do you mind going into like your family problems? I probably would have been like, eh. I probably would have been like, sure, honestly. I told you like I'm down to talk
yeah.
about whatever, because that's just me. But like I say that, but I could still like withhold things like once
Hmm.
we start speaking, you
Yeah.
know. But like I'm just like comfortable talking about it. Like so it's
And
like the
that's
same shit will
another
happen on like Joe Rogan. Like people will say things that they've never said before because like the
Mhm.
conversation just gets them so comfortable that they're just
Yeah.
like,
And
here's
that's
some
why
shit.
another thing I'm big on is like force nothing and forcing you to be like talk about the worst shit you've ever been through
Yeah.
would be so whack.
And that's just gonna like turn people off of actually doing it. Whereas like asking them about it and like what
Hmm.
it made of them and how it whatever what they learned, like that'll get them to like naturally open up more.
And my brother, one thing he said, and
Let me tell
I
you
think
about
it's
my
pretty
brother.
like, huh?
Let me tell you about my brother though.
Let me tell you about my brother, man. He said something, and it's so true. Like I'm still figuring out what this podcast is, but I mean, like, I think I'm just gonna let it be what it is. Like, we just started yapping, and I had a good time.
Hmm. Yeah, me too.
And
Easily.
I like
It's
one
a
thing
good
he said,
episode.
which really excites me, is like when you do something, like the more you do something, the better you get at it. And this is like, I thought this went great, and this is like the
Yeah.
first one with another guest. And if I only get better, man, I
You'll be gross.
curtains for y'all suckers.
Yeah.
Don't let the
Swear.
kid get momentum.
Swear. Yeah, dude. And like I think it's cool to like do some folks local because like people know you and know I think it's just harder for some people to even like me, like just like even you being one of my best friends, like when you post an episode, but it's like just you for an hour and a half or two, I'm like fire. I bet he's talking heat, but it's just like less like people want to hear conversation, you know, like
I agree.
that's like the best form of
And when I was talking, when I was doing the solo episodes, like I was taking upwards of 5 second pauses in between my thoughts. And I had people
yeah.
listening, they're like, that can't happen, man. Like you can't be a podcaster that doesn't talk for
And
like 10 seconds
yeah, no,
consistently.
no, people would just swipe out, dude, because
Yeah.
like a
The
Twitter
attention span is
is crazy.
goldfish.
I know, it really is, dude. It's nuts.
And that's no like fault on them. That's just like
We came up, yeah,
that's the way it is right now.
yeah. We grew up on phones, so it's just how it goes.
Would you like to live in a world where there was, this will be the last question. Would you like to live in a world where like pre-phone?
Yeah, I'd love to. But I think I like living in phone world for shit like this. Like
Yeah. It's
Like,
cool
but
as hell.
yeah, it's pretty dope. But like, I would have enjoyed pre-phone just to like, because I think that was like peak human being.
Pre-phone.
Yeah, I think humanity, and I don't know, this is off no basis or even research for that matter, but like I think if we all did not grow up with instant, bro, absolutely, I firmly believe we'd all be better people if we didn't grow up with phones in our pockets because like the ability like we were talking about earlier with like cheating and like you can just see
Hmm.
hot women everywhere, or you can just like you can get like jealous of what like other people are doing because you like check your phone and friends are hanging out and invite you. Now you feel away like you would never even freaking known they were together without the
Hmm.
phone. You let all those pussy sad thoughts go. But like having a phone, but there's the good things like I can keep in touch with a lot of people and whatnot, and that's obviously like I think that's awesome, and that also can make us better people in a sense because like we're or in some way because we're like still
Hmm.
able to keep relationships intact that would have fallen out that maybe keep us like better people or good for us. But like so I would have liked to, but I think like I like living in this era, but it's so tough to say because like back then, dude, like we're talking about like living local earlier. Like back then, you just lived local.
Hmm.
Like you knew the man who ran the coffee shop, you knew the mailman, you knew the freaking like the bagel guy, the pizza guy, you knew like Jeff up the road, Tom from down
Hmm.
the street, you knew Clarice and her four boys. Like you just knew everyone, I feel like that's what my grandma would say at least if she were on the pod. And like
Get her on.
yeah, and you don't want that. No, it would be honestly a good generational episode, but she can talk for days, but like
I know.
um
I do fantasize about how like familiar they were with each other. And I think,
yeah, dude, exactly, bro. And like I was saying about like love earlier, like there's a purer love, I think, when you're kind of just with the people, you're with the
mhm,
people, not like looking and searching at what's out there that you don't have, because then it makes
yeah.
you like constantly unfulfilled.
And I think, dude, I got a lot to say about this, but like I think there's a learning curve with all this technology that was like, because same thing that's happening with AI right now. I don't want to get into AI, but like we were flooded with technology and like you were saying, we just grew up with it. And there is like a learning
Hmm.
curve, but I do have faith that hopefully we'll figure it out.
No, me too. I just do think that I think what I think would be dope, dude, and like what I hope is like our age people, our generation. I actually don't even know what generation we are. I don't care, frankly. Are we Z?
I think so. I like Z, so I say Z.
Z stuff. I'll take Z. But like, but like, we're in this whatever our age group, our frame, whatever the hell, like our generation, like we grew up so in the technology because it was coming out as we were growing up. So like there was no dodging it. Like new birthday, new technology every time. Like
Hmm.
when we're adults and raising kids, now, like you said, AI aside, because that's a whole nother worm can, but like you, like I'm hoping, I would love if we can fucking realize that maybe we shouldn't give like sixth graders like full access to the world in their
Hmm.
pocket. Like maybe get them a phone to like make plans with their friends and call me if it's a minute. Like
Yeah.
I had a slide phone until eighth grade, which in my town was like living
Yeah.
in the sewer. Like, which is insane. Like I remember I was getting this girl's number, bro. I'll never forget, scarred me at a football game. And I pulled out my phone and I had a little piece of masking tape on the phone too, because like the keyboard was coming off. It was signing phone. And all her friends were like, no way, that's your phone. Oh my God. Like clowning my shit in front of everybody. I was like, still got the number, but like I was just sick because I just remember being like, wow, like that's what I mean when I said like listening to like rap as a kid might have like given me better insight. Because to me, I didn't give a shit about no phone, but like to them, like that's like a laughable offense. Like you fucking scumbags, like you guys are so rich and spoiled and like out of touch. Like that's insane. Like nowhere else in the world besides Andover, Mass. It was actually in North Andover, so fuck them too. But regardless, like you're not gonna clown someone for having a phone. So I would love, and so I lose. I don't think we'll actually be able to pull it off because of the people like that group of girls there, unless they all meet.
They'll die off though.
But yeah, they'll die off hopefully. But I mean, like, what I want is like when we have kids, dude. Like, understanding the balance of it and like
Hmm.
giving the right amount because we all got over flooded and there was no way for our parents to know how crazy it was gonna become. But like we all fucking know. So
Yeah.
like, do you want your kid to grow up with the attention span of a squirrel? No, then don't fucking get him. Then like don't let him download TikTok or Instagram for it
Yeah.
until eighth grade. He'll be like me. He'll be just fine. But like I just think, and I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world to have stuff as a kid. Because the other thing is, you don't want to have your kid like, or as a kid, you just don't want to be like missing out. Like I remember I got Instagram. I had like an iPod and a sliding phone. And I would use the iPod for my social media and whatever, and text on the slide. And like I remember like getting Instagram in elementary school because like go had a question and my class had it. Sole reason, like boom, getting Instagram today. It's probably same reason I got Snapchat like back
Yeah.
in the day. Like we all just got it because like other people were doing it, and I wanted to be like with my friends. I want to miss out on what was I was just a kid like
Hmm.
trying to like stay in touch with the people and what was going on. I also was new to my town at the time. Like I moved when I was 8, so I was like, oh, this how like people keep in touch. I didn't know about any of that stuff in Lowell. I knew about it all in Andover like first year. I don't know if that's because that's when it dropped, or just because Andover was that much wealthier. Probably both. But like, um,
We're figuring a lot of shit out right now.
yeah,
Dude,
really, I did like
I
figuring out
loved
like
my slide phone so much. I
me
still
too.
remember I had this blue
Pristine.
case. I still remember the girl. I was in love with her. I don't care what you tell me. I didn't even know her that well, but I was in love with her. And my phone would
That's valid.
vibrate and it would be like the best feeling in the world. And also, my slide phone, like it was indestructible. I used to
Oh,
like hand
God,
it to
that's
my
why I had the
friends. I'd be like,
masking tape on it.
throw my phone at
Yeah,
that wall, and they
yeah,
would, and
and it
it
would
wouldn't
never
break.
break. That's why I had
Put
masking tape on my phone because I dropped it a million times in the case. Like the numbers that were attached, like just started peeling off. Just put some tape over the two.
And dude, that amount of like phone and that amount of technology, that was it. Phones are good for like texting other people. That's the beauty of it. And I guess like phone call and FaceTime is
Yeah,
good, but
yeah,
like
yeah.
shit was
And like,
pretty good when it was just slide phone.
oh God, it was. These people grew up too fast, clowning on the slide phone. I never even got to have one. Their first phone was an iPhone. Like that's crazy. Your first phone was an iPhone. Like if anyone listening to that's you, I know you're like 20 years old because that's your generation right there. You guys wouldn't even get slide phones. You just got iPhones because they were
Y'all missed out. If you're listening and you didn't have a slide
a slide
phone, you
phone. That's
missed
such
out.
studio. Yeah, that's
You
such
might be
studio.
one of those girls that are laughing at slide phones, but I hope you know I'm laughing at you because you don't know what it
Yeah,
was like to have a slide phone. It
yeah.
was
You really
amazing.
don't. You really have no clue.
You think you're
Sliding it
all
up.
cool with your Instagram and your Snapchat, but all those things
Still
are
had that shit on
ruining
the
you.
iPod too. I'd walk around with the iPod and connect to Wi-Fi just so I could do that stuff. That's the other thing. Like that's just like not it. Like I wish I could. Like as a kid, like I would have loved it. Has been like moving, and I did start. Like I'm so grateful. My childhood was fucking lit. Like every Friday, I'd go downtown with my friends and do shit. Like, and we didn't even know we were
Mhm.
doing. I couldn't even recollect majority. We'd play sports sometimes. We'd like hang out like downtown spots. But like so much of the time was us just walking around with no purpose, and like so much fun came from that. Like that is like
Mhm.
peak childhood for me. Was like those years, and and we still had phones, but like it's so different though because we had phones but we were still kids. Like now, that's not even how it goes. Like you don't
No.
kids don't do that. Kids still somewhat do that, but not nearly as much or to the level. At least I can just speak for like my own little brothers. Like they're not nearly as like outside as I was as a kid.
I know I don't even think kids go like downtown anymore. When I was in, it was also like the slide phone era where it was like going downtown, like that's what you did, and that
Oh
was the
God,
shit. It
it
was
was the
like
shit.
awesome. It was like
You got
everyone's just
$10.
mobbing downtown, and
Yes.
we're gonna
Someone might fight. Someone might like you don't know, but it's
someone might
like
get their first kiss, someone might
yeah,
fight. Like
exactly. Yeah,
shit's
like
gonna happen.
y'all might get invited to the hangout after. Like one of the boys might be able to have people over. You want to be there if you can. Like it was just the net. I swear, bro. It was just like this. It was a game every Friday, dude. Truly, but
And dude, I also fan it like you used to like just hang out with your neighbors. And now it's
all the
like people
time.
don't even know their neighbors.
I don't know. I love all my neighbors. We grew up mad close.
And sometimes, dude, I'll be on a bus or I'll be like in the living room with my family. And anytime anyone's just like everyone's on their phone, it's like if we didn't have these, we'd probably be like talking right now.
Yeah, I know, dude. I would say that all the time, like my old roommates. It'd be like four of us in the living room on our couch on our phones, and I'd be like, "It's so good bonding with you fucking guys." Like, cause like we're all just sitting there, like you said, like bro, like we'd be like talking about something. Like, not to say you might not be talking about something important on the phone either, but like
Hmm.
you're probably not. I see your thumb going up and down. You're just scrolling, buddy. Like
Hmm.
most of the time, like.
And it's like
And
in one, it's not in one ear. It kind of is. It's in one ear, out the other. Like you're not even like,
oh yeah. Dude, I like 20 Twitter posts a day. I couldn't remember anything I liked yesterday. Cause I see some great stuff and some of it's I'm like, wow, that's really insightful. Like, forget it. Like
yeah.
instantly or whatever it may be. Like even like a video I'll watch. I'll be, wow, it's a great message.
And like phones make it impossible to be bored if you don't want to be. And it's like that is boredom has a
It's
purpose. Like
good, yeah. Mm-hmm.
boredom makes you do stuff. I I'm kind of I like I'm a weird guy. I noticed this and I experimented with it. I was going to the airport recently, like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to the airport and normally I was on a train and normally I'd just be on my phone. But I put my phone in my backpack, I zipped it. I was just like,
Raw dog the train.
and for like a minute or two, I was bored. And then I was happy. Like, I just felt more joy. And like, I was
Yeah.
like, there was a guy next to me. I was like, what's up, man? He's like, what's up? I'm like, I never would have done that if
Yeah.
I was on my phone. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the phone or like, but like phones like create fear. Like, normally I'd be like, I don't know if that guy wants to talk to me. So maybe I won't say what's up. But I was like, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
care
yeah.
anymore. Like, what's up,
Yeah.
dude? Like,
Yep.
I
I
would
know.
bark at you if I wanted to. I don't care.
Yeah, and then like if you don't like me, like I don't care either. Cause what are you gonna do? Like record me on your like no phones here, buddy. Like we don't play that shit.
And
Yeah.
like, no one does that anymore. It's like, me, it creates like the, what a, it makes it feel like what other people care, like think of you matters so much more, especially when
Hmm.
it's like a stranger on a bus. Like, I'm never going to see that guy
Oh
again. I could
God, I
bark
know,
at him
dude.
and it will not matter.
I know. It could literally hiss at him. Wouldn't care.
You could literally just pretend to be a snake. And it
Mhm.
would be like the weirdest thing he ever saw. And you
Yeah,
might
he
not
would
even think
remember
about it
it.
again because you
Yeah,
knew
I
you were
know.
just faking it.
I know, literally, dude. I remember when I went to my main house one time, you been there and I bought like um some of my buddies up and there was like some like island party by coincidence that day and we drive by we were just like driving around at night to like see the island. They hadn't all like seen it before. We were driving around and we see this boy just jumping and they were all like, oh my God, this is awesome because like none of these people are real. Like we can be whoever we want
Yes.
tonight because we're on an island in the bumfuck and like once we're gone, we're gone. Or no one will see us and we'll probably never be back. And I was like,
Hmm.
that is true for y'all. Unfortunately, I'm about to run into my fucking
And
like
then
I
they
had
do
like
some
a
crazy shit and you have to like deal with the
yeah no like we
repercussions.
like they literally almost started to fight like it was I they haven't been up since they probably never will be again because I don't bring up misbehaviors to the sacred land but like same shit though it's like you're going into it it's like this rocks like I'm no one like I'm no but like that is a great place it's like visiting your buddy like when I come to visit you in Denver like that's gonna be me like this might trickle down to West one day but it won't get back to me like
But even like that's also the beauty of living in a city. Like just like if
yeah
you lived in New York, every person that walked by, you could be like,
you
and
never see it
then
again yeah I know literally dude
and you
like
could constantly reinvent yourself and just be whoever you want to be. And
and
you
people will just buy what you are when they meet you.
and the truth is you can always do that. It's just you think you can't.
Yeah,
It's a little different when you're in like high school and like you got to see the same people every day.
yeah,
But
yeah,
once you like have a
facts. Yeah,
job, it's like you choose for the most part, besides who you see at work. But like those are coworkers. There's
yeah,
so many like other arenas in life where you could just be whoever
yeah,
you want. And you can like it doesn't matter what other people think of you. Like I probably never would have started this podcast in high school. I was terrified of what
yeah.
other
Because
people
everyone
thought of
else
me in
at
high
school.
school. But I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't if I never wanted to see them again, I never have to.
yeah, I swear.
Like I just went to a bar the night before Thanksgiving to celebrate. But
Yeah, me too.
I saw some kids from high school and it was like great. But I used to like hate seeing people from high school because it's just like
Yeah,
I hate being in that like bubble where it's like,
like brings back like when you were in the bubble exactly. Like
yeah.
people say that like um I saw some funny shit. It was like, oh, you not going out on like the night before Thanksgiving in your town? Like, oh, what do you just have like so many enemies, bro? Like, no one fucking cares about you, bro. Like, you're not important, bro. Like, no one remembers you, bro. Like, and I'm like, dead ass though. Like, would you not have friends? It's ironic. And my high school reunion was last night and I didn't go. But I was just tired, bro. And like I already went out like the night before Thanksgiving, which was
Mhm.
basically a high school reunion itself.
Yeah.
And like I'm not like against seeing everyone like other people too, but I wasn't gonna like I was really tired and I wasn't gonna like God, I gotta go. Like I did not have to go. Like
Hmm.
I can still see it was only the 5 year, like no one's shit yet really anyway. Like catch me at the
Hmm.
10 year pulling up in a fucking Bentley with my with my with my local shopping piece on my side. Like then I'll be you with you all. Regardless, like I'm just not. I was saying like, but like no one cares like who you were, what you were. Like truly, no one gives a shit. Like I and the
Exactly.
night before Thanksgiving, I ran into so many kids that I hadn't seen. I say kids like I'm Dana White, bro. They're all the same age as me. But like I said, I'm a kid earlier, so like fair. But I ran into so many people, and they're all like it was like people that like I hardly spoke to or that I spoke a lot to, whatever, like all the same, like yo, what's up? Like and like that whole like yo, hey, how are you bullshit gets tiring, sure, but like it's not even like that with everyone. Like some people were just like, hey, yo, good to see you, and then that was all we said. But like I appreciate
Hmm.
it. Like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
good to see you
Dude, I
too.
did the same exact thing. I like dapped up a kid, like just kept walking. It was like, it was good to see him.
Yeah, same dude, same. Like some kid I saw. We never spoke in high school. We had one class together, but we were just like civil. But we never said a word. I don't think. But besides maybe like a yo, you got the homework, like something like that potentially, but nothing special. And like I saw, I was like, yo, what's up, man? How you been? Good, good. You, yeah, well, I'll bet. All right, I'll be easy. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, see you later. Boom. And that was it. But I was like, fire, like good kid,
Hmm.
glad he's well. Like that doesn't mean the world to me. I didn't need to see him. My life wouldn't have changed, but it's like just nice to fucking see folks and like those high school people, like you said, like they're all different people now too. Like if I met someone from high school and they brought up like someone from high school and like bad taste, I would just look at them like crazy. Could I just be like, you really gonna shit on stuff that happened that long ago? Same way if someone's going around like gloating what they did in high school. It's like,
Hmm.
what are you fucking like? Have you been
I
in
know.
AA since? Like you have accomplished nothing since? Like that's you still living off that one? Golly, like you know.
I know. And caring about, if anyone's listening that's in high school, like caring about what other people think, and especially like caring about popularity and like trying to be cool is like the worst thing I ever did.
Oh
It's
God.
like, it matters 0%. And I promise, like, once you start like just being yourself, and I know that sounds corny, but I mean like not being afraid to like share the things you like or talk about how you truly feel. And that sounds, I don't know, you know how it sounds, you're listening, but like you are so much happier. You're exponentially happier. It's like, it's everything.
And like the people you think that are like close in high school that are cool, like I swear to God, like 50% of them won't be friends in 4 years.
Hmm. And you
Like
think like some
if
people
there's
are,
like a group of girls that you're trying to impress or a group of guys, whoever you are, like they're half of them are gonna fall out. Like I swear to you, like they are not
Mhm.
gonna be best friends forever, and their opinions will not always match or be the same. Right now, people just click up and think the same way because it's like they feel at home by doing that. But you gotta go after what you like genuinely want. Like if there's a shorty that's not in your like circle and you don't think your friends or her or your girlfriends would like it, like just go. Fuck it. They don't
fuck it.
matter. They genuinely most of them do not matter and most of them you really won't see again after. And like if they have anything to say about you, that they're gonna respect more like you went and tried shit than like you were always timid and never did shit.
And there was, oh, I think in every high school, maybe not like the massive ones, but there's like one cool or multiple cool like circles. But it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, the only like, and like you idolize these people, it's like they are no different than you. And the only thing that's different is that they are like just being themselves and you're trying to be like them.
Yep. Swear.
And as soon as you start just being yourself, like that's what is actually, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's actually cool, but that's what actually matters.
No, I just so facts because I was like in high school, I was never like the man, but I was always like I was cool with pretty much damn near like if you had a pawn on me, it had to be on you. Had to be. But no, I'm kidding. Like I said, I was somewhat of a dickhead at times. But like, all in all, I was pretty good with almost everyone, and I was always like me with everyone too. Like it wasn't like like I think I was blessed to be like I don't like toot my horn, but I was like naturally cool. Like I was just like me,
Hmm.
and that made people fuck with me. But I wasn't like
And
okay,
I agree, and I think the coolness is literally just you weren't trying to be someone else. Like that's one of the
exactly, yeah,
things, one of your gifts, I think, is like you just don't give a shit. You're just yourself. And that is what is cool. It's
yeah.
like
No, that is like
confidence.
yeah, no, that is like the coolest thing. It's not like being like me is cool. Like being yourself is cool. Like
And
I was cool because I was me, but that's because I am me. Like
mhm,
you could not try and copy how I do it. That's gonna leave you devastated, dummy.
Bradley Drake Kessler. But
Duh.
dude, when I did care a lot about
Thought
what other
about what
people thought, it's because I wanted like everyone to like me. And here's the thing. No matter what you do, some people won't like you. So there is zero point in trying, and you will be a million times happier if you're just yourself.
and I'd rather at this point in my life, I'd rather people respect me than like me.
Oh God.
You ain't gotta like me, but you gonna see that I'm grinding and I'm putting in work, and that's a good man. Like but because people can like you, well, what am I trying to say? I'd rather be respecting like meaning
Can I
like,
hop in? I think I know what you're getting at.
yeah, yeah, go
There's a chance the rapper bar, it's like, I'm not no nice guy, I'm just a good guy.
type shit.
And that's like, I think you're, I don't, I
No,
don't
that's
think
what
you'll
I
be
meant.
offended by this. You're not the nicest guy, but you're a hell of a, like, you're a good
Yeah, no,
guy.
that's a good way to put it. No lie. Yeah.
And I think the only reason people aren't like nice, it's like, cause you're faking it. Like, I guess some people are like nice, but it's like being afraid to hurt other people's feelings is no way to live, is
Yeah,
what I'm
no way
trying
to
to
live
say,
at all.
essentially.
Like I'll ruin somebody's day if I have to. And because I'm under the belief that like if what I say ruins your day, like I'm helping you. Like truly, I'm building your character. You needed to hear this. If it really ruined your day,
You're a saint, man.
if little old me can like ruin your day with some words, bro, like goddamn grow up because like I don't know. Unless I mean a lot to you and I let you down, and that's a whole different thing.
Which you're
But
not.
if it but
Brad
you
Kessler
don't
is no
know me,
bully.
bro. You don't fucking know me, so no, people listening, some of them probably know me, but that's the fun. I hope we get like some text of like, yo, I listened to you and Wes. That shit was fire. That would make me happy.
Dude, I think some kids at camp would like geek over this. It's like
I
Brad and
agree. This would be like this is like to them like Thug and Future album type thing for me.
hmm
Like
Shaq and Cove album,
yeah, exactly.
if they made music.
Yeah. If they never broke up, they want three
Genuinely,
more.
I know there's gonna be some kids where it's like a real conversation between Brad and Wes, and we can listen in. It's like we're not cooler
No,
than
my
you at
God.
all. I promise you.
Yeah, no, neither of us. Although we are both pretty nut and I'm trolling. But like the reason Wes and I are like cool in our own skin is like you said, like we're just both us and we've accepted like
Hmm.
how we move and how we are. And like Wes is the same way, like good guy, not a nice guy. I've seen him say some very hurtful things. I might have seen him make people cry. But like but like he's a good guy though. Like I've truly seen Wes piss off an entire house of people I was in, and it was just because he was just like giving shit back that he was getting, and people got upset. A nice guy would have been
Hmm.
super polite. I'm a guest. Oh, you can bitch at me all you want, and I will just suck your dick after because I am a guest. Like, but a good guy, they're not thinking like that. They're thinking
Hmm.
like it's not good or bad if I give them shit back. It's fair. So here you
Hmm.
go. You know, like
And
that type of
I
thing.
think I've always been a good guy, but I've gotten caught up being trying to be a nice guy, and I'm done. I'm getting better at just never like not giving a shit because
No, me too. Like
it's
last night, my friends had a Friendsgiving. I told them no, I ain't going. I
and
just because I wasn't really feeling like going, and like some of them, I feel like we're not even that close right now. So I'm just not
hmm
like I'm not gonna just be a nice guy and fucking go to show love when I want to be there.
yeah.
What's good is doing like what you believe in, it. That's what's good. Like
And if you did go like for them, you wouldn't have been like when
It's
I
not
do things
genuine.
for other people, I'm not in like a good mood and I'm not like
On God,
adding. I'm
yeah,
not a benefit.
exactly. I don't want to go if I didn't want to go because then I know I'm showing up as like a lazier,
Hmm.
less like excited to be than me. But I do. I've heard this saying. I don't know where it's from or what it exactly goes like. But it's like if you ever like really feel like doing something and then like the time comes to do it and you all of a sudden don't want to do it, like you gotta go do it because like you really did want to do it. Like say me and
Hmm.
you said like tomorrow we're going out to Boston and like we were hyped to do it. We haven't been together in a minute.
Hmm.
We got like whatever, everything lined up to a T. And then the day comes and I'm just like, oh, that's not really feeling it anymore. Like that's like might be extreme, but that's like the
Hmm.
devil. Like
Hmm.
you wanted to go,
Yeah.
like
And it might be,
you
it's probably oftentimes like fear or
yeah,
something.
exactly, yeah. Dude, one of my favorite quotes of my old boss was like fear is the most selfish emotion because it really is. Like if you're scared to do it, you're scared to do it because of how it's gonna affect you or how like you'll feel after. He
I've
would put
never
in the
heard
con
that.
Yeah, it's a buy. He would put in the context of like work, so he would say like, "What you don't want to like reach out to that person because like you're scared that like they'll say no. Well, you're scared that you'll be hurt by them saying no. You're not scared that they'll
No.
say no for them. But if you don't call them or whatever, and they like need what we do, and you never reached out, and then 2 months go by and they need it, and you had never reached out because you were scared, like you screwed them over because you were scared, like fear being selfish." And I was like,
And
huh, that's a good point.
there's also probably people who are like, oh, Brad and Wes did a podcast. Like, what do they think they have interesting to talk about? And fuck them. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't
swear.
matter. Like, I won't ever see those people. I won't, like, I don't have to talk to them. I don't have to see them ever. And it's like, me and Brad know we can have a good convo. So we're going to have a good convo. And look what we did.
Swear.
We had a good convo.
Oh my God, we're coming up on like 2 hours and didn't even notice.
Has that really been that long?
Damn near, yeah.
I know. We caught a groove and we just, something
We just
happened.
rolled, yeah. No line.
But
It's probably good to keep it under though, because attention span.
yeah.
Kids will see the time and be like, 3.5 hours. I'm not watching The Godfather. Like,
On God. And yeah, I'm down to we should stay on and talk about tonight for 2 seconds.
so,
But thank you for coming on, Brad. Hell of a first guess. We
you
caught
got
a
mine.
groove and we never looked back. And if you're
Yeah, like
listening,
normal. Just like in real
well,
life.
and if you're listening on Spotify, follow, give it 5 stars. I love doing this and I'd like to keep going. And if you listening, yeah, that's what I want to say more than anything. If you have listened to this whole thing, I thank you and I love you because you're allowing me to do something where it's like, I love doing this. I love talking to Brad Kesler. And I appreciate you, Brad. I appreciate everyone listening. Peace.
Ditto. You don't want to talk about tonight, Dendo?
No, I'm just going to stop recording.
Oh, type. Gotcha.
Peace.